Well, afternoon, Scott. How are you?
How you doing, Peter? I'm grand, thank you. And yourself?
Wonderful, thanks, wonderful.
Good.
Great to meet you today. So, Scott,
Yes.
tell me a little about yourself and your business, please.
Basically, I've been a funeral director for 20 years. Started when I was 19. Part-time casual, it's just something I always wanted to do. As I say, worked for a few different funeral homes over my career, and then done various courses. Became a member of the international disaster team, which has been a big help in some of the main atrocities around the world. September 11th, Russian aircraft disaster, Grenfell Tower. So I'm involved with an aspect of that. And then February 21, I started it on my own and opened up my own funeral business. And since then have became a fully qualified diploma holder in funeral directing, and also currently the Northern Ireland chairman for the British Institute of Funeral Directors.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that disaster.
Yeah, it's a disaster management team. It's response to atrocities, as I say, worldwide. Before I had joined, the likes of the Asian tsunami, they were there, deployed there for quite a number of months. So yeah, there's various. Thankfully, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, you have to be ready to respond. And as I say, it's just to keep up your training and your personal development and things like that, family assistance, search and recovery, search and rescue. So yeah, it's quite it's interesting, but at the same time it's very demanding, and it gives you, it opens your eyes to some of the detail of the tragedies that happen worldwide.
No, listen, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing. So are there any well, first of all, congratulations on going out on your own in 21. Are there any particular business leaders that inspire you the most at all?
There's a couple. I'm a big fan of Donald Trump for his business worldwide. His business, what he's done, the losing it all to getting back to where he is, and then just subsequently just heard he's starting to run for president again in 2024. So Donald Trump, for business wise, that would be in a worldwide scene. Locally, I follow Tom Smith, the owner of Dream Apartments. Again, started working on building sites. I've been to some courses with Tom and some of his talks. Started from building sites to operating a multi-million-pound company. And then as inspiring, as coach and mentoring, things like that. So yeah, that would be my two.
Very good. I'm a big fan of Donald Trump. That's a great conversation starter,
isn't it? I know it's as well like American politics and history as well. Then we'll start talking about a conversation starter.
Very good. And what would you say is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Well, from a personal involvement into the funeral business, it's the best piece of advice that I have, and I constantly give to people, is you could not have prevented this person from dying this way, no matter if it's a child, an adult, but you can make a difference to the family from they engage in your services from there on in. So that would be the personal one that is associated with my business. But the big one for me as a person is, never give up. Even when you're in your darkest days, keep going, and there's people out there who rely on you and people that need you. So mixture of both there, so you have one aspect and then you have the other.
Yeah, I can really relate to that. I lost my dad this summer, and the funeral director guy was just amazing. Through such a difficult situation, he did a phenomenal job, and I really it gave me a newfound respect for that line of work, and people like yourself as well. So so who's the first person that comes to mind when you think about success?
There's a few, there is a few, my partner, she's been amazing, success and driving me to do what I've done. But also a lot of my success is driven by, I lost my father in the Troubles when I was 5. And that's the reason why I wanted to be an undertaker. Through primary school, everybody says I wanted to be an undertaker, that's why I told the teachers, and I've done it. But for him, because I never got to know him, as I say, he was killed during the Troubles. Had a successful greengrocers on the Shankill Road back in the 80s. When he lost his life, and it's a success. It's just something that you want to do to make your dad proud. There's a lot of things that I lost out on as a child. Growing up without a dad, my mum done the best she could, but for success, he would be one of the main ones to say, with him, and as I say, I'm my partner.
Okay, and what would you say are your strongest qualities, your top three strengths
Determination
as a business owner?
Determination. I'm a very determined people. I like to prove people wrong. I like to show that there's maybe not a better way, there's a different way of doing things, and determined to succeed. I like to lead, and then evolve, and that's both on a personal level but also in the industry. I like to come up with different ideas, different services to offer to families that weren't there before. So it would be determination, leading, and evolving.
All right, so let's say we fast forward 5 years to 2027. Sounds more like a time than a year, doesn't it?
Yep.
2027. What does your business look like then, Scott?
Hopefully, my goal, it was always a 5-year plan when I first started the business, because it started up during COVID. Hopefully in 5 years' time, my plan is to at least have 2 to 3 branches, and still given the personal service at a realistic price, and as I say, just trying to make changes and make waves, and as I say, and progress myself through different organizations. In the first step was becoming chairman of Northern Ireland for the British Institute of Funeral Directors, and then so on and so forth, and progress to possibly like a regional role as well.
Excellent.
Sorry, UK national role.
And have you got any favorite books or podcasts that you would recommend?
I'm not into podcasts. Me and technology sometimes don't work well. But books, 2 books that I've read, they're self-development books. One is that I went through it like a fine-tooth comb. Is the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and then also Fearless by Tom Smith. So Tom Smith, that Tom's book was my first that I downloaded onto my phone through Amazon app. So that's the first book that I'm reading electronically. But that would be my 2 books that would work, that I would always go to, like my Bibles.
And what's the biggest challenge that you're currently facing, Scott? What's the biggest challenge to your business at the minute?
My biggest challenge at the minute would be, because I'm a newcomer to this area. Yes, I've worked for other companies, but I'm out on my own. I might have developed a reputation for helping people and doing what I do, but coming out on my own, being a newbie, as I say, and trying to get people to break traditions and trying to make people realize, do you know what, there is an alternative there to your big groups or to people that's charged X amount of money. Currently I can be up to possibly 42% cheaper than some of the big groups and offer services that they don't. Like some only one at the minute that offers like a video funeral package, to have a bespoke recording of the funeral from start to finish, at a traditional funeral package. But it's about breaking the traditions where you don't have to go to that funeral director that buried your granny, your granddad, or so on and so forth. Look around, see what's offered, and see who it is you're going to get to know who you're dealing with and see what they're doing to help the people, not just to be a number, and without putting any funeral director down, but you're not a number to me. You're a person and you want to help them as much as they can. So breaking tradition is probably the biggest one. And as I say, with the price, people think, well, possibly if you're that cheaper, you're maybe not getting a good service. I am less expensive and you're getting a more personal, professional service, but it's trying to get that out, because there's this taboo in the fickle community, with the look at funeral directors in a weird way sometimes, and think, well, you can't market your business that way, you can't do that. And it's about just bringing the industry forward into the modern era, to realize, what, you actually can do that, and you should look around.
Oh, that's really good, really good. And if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, Scott, it sounds like you've got a fantastic business and some great services there. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Anyway, telephone, the old-fashioned telephone. You like to speak to somebody, call into the office. My door's always open. There's always tea, coffee, milk, and biscuits there. Email, and also there's things like globalfuneraldirector.co.uk, and then there's my websites, but then there's also social media. So I can be contacted in basically any form, at any time.
That's brilliant. Well, look, Scott Otley of Scott Otley Funeral Director. Listen, thank you very much for your time this afternoon and sharing your story and telling us about your business. It's been really, really interesting. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.